Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basic Monsters Game Day Podcast. I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles right next to me, and we're in for a long day. We got 4 games coming up for you guys. Starting off with Luke's boys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, versus the Carolina Panthers. And Luke, this is a big game. I know you guys are coming off an ass kicking given out by the New Orleans Saints. And we're talking about this, man. Like you pointed out some of the Bucs' flaws on defense as well as on offense. And we know the Panthers are 3-6, but these Panthers are right there. Like they got the number 6 or number 5 or 6 offense or something of that sort. They're a good team. They're okay on defense, but if you let that offense get going with a running game, you could get beat.
Oh yeah, man. The Panthers, thank God Christian McCaffrey's not playing today. That saves us a little bit of worry. But I'm not feeling good about this one. To be truth be told, that offensive line, I don't know what happened. The Tampa Bay, it's just a weird team right now. Like they hit that spurt where they were just like bang, 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 good, looking great, and then all of a sudden just wham, shit the bed, and then boom against the Saints, shit the bed, and it's just like, who are these? Like you got another weapon, another great weapon, and you manage to get worse. I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah, and it's just it was weird to see them. They abandoned the run. Honestly, it's hard to abandon something that you never even gave a shot in the first place when it's regarding the run. They ran for I think it hasn't been recorded in NFL history. It was like 8 yards. It would have been the least amount of runs in a game if Blaine Gabbert wouldn't have took that knee. They would have set the record for only running 4 times in a game. Right, and I'm sure they did. I'm sure they had no clue that Blaine Gabbert was going to go ahead and save them from having such a dubious honor. But you know what? Like let's be real with the Bucs. They caught it on the chin last week. I say against New Orleans. This Panthers offense is they could light it up too. They're similar. They're ninth, in offense, and it's for me. If you can't stop the run, if you can't find a way to get your running game going, then Tom's going to have to go ahead and do exactly what he did last week, and that's pass nonstop all the time, and that usually leads to interceptions or Tom getting put on his back time and time again. And it's what's going to give with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team.
I don't know. I mean, I hope they had better practice. I don't know I really don't know at this point. Like, what's it going to take? I mean, you've got everything that you wanted, and you're doing nothing with it. I mean, at this point, I'd rather bring back Jameis Winston and just give us a better running back. I don't understand I understand they're in the win now mode. But obviously you've got everything you want to win now and you can't. So I hope that defense, I'll tell you what needs to happen. That defense needs to stiffen up. That offensive line needs to give Tom some time, and they have to be able to run the ball. If they can't run the ball, then we see what kind of debacle they get into. Like the Saints just exposed the hell out of Tampa Bay. Stuff the run, and Tom can't do it.
Right, and it's weird with the 2 running backs that they had and the success that they've had earlier in the season with running the football. Mm-hmm. It just seems like they had a couple bad games and they're like, you know what, screw this. But particularly in the Saints game, they ran into some trouble running, and then it was like, that's it, boom, 3 plays, three rushes, you ran into some trouble, and you were just trying to figure it out. Like honestly, it felt like they were trying to get in a track meet with the New Orleans Saints without needing to get into a track meet.
Right. Yeah. No. They went.
Like the game started, and you guys are already trying to win by 40.
Yeah. No. They. The Saints came out. I mean, props to the Saints. I mean, they came out and they jumped on top of us real quick. And I think as a lot of coaches do tend to do around the league, abandon your game plan. Let's try something else. Like, no, stick with it, run the ball, because that's going to set up everything else. And it's just weird to me that Arians did that, because Arians is usually I feel like him and Byron Leftwich are pretty much on the same page, and they usually have a pretty good game plan. But for whatever reason, they both got scared, and we're just like, listen, we got to try to keep up with Drew Brees. Now, obviously, it didn't work.
Right, and I don't know whose decision it was, because we saw a balance even when they were struggling to run with Byron Leftwich, and we all thought Byron Leftwich was calling the plays. But then all of a sudden, honestly, it reminded me of old Bruce. It reminded me of old Bruce Arians not wanting to run the ball and wanting to throw the ball 67 times a game. You know, it looked like it had all the makings of a Bruce Arians type of loss when he gets in that desperation mode.
Yeah, it's I hope to God he learned from it, and they just I hope somebody in the organization said, look, run the ball 4 times isn't going to get you any wins. I don't care who you're playing. Even if you're not able to run, at least you're running and the defense has to react to that run. But when you just flat out abandon it, it's easy for a defense to tuck their ears back and boom, come at you, because they already know what you're going to do.
They never gave it a shot. That was my whole thing, is they never really truly gave it a real shot to work, and it just went ahead and they were just like, well, that's not how we're gonna win. The Saints are world beaters on the defensive front. Like, they're not like great run stuffers. You could have gotten something going, but you just never tried. An attempt. Look, if you attempted 15 rushes or 20 rushes and you got 20 yards, okay, I understand. You tried everything you could to get that running game going, and that team was better than you. But 5? That's it?
4. I mean, really, it's 4.
You had no intentions of wearing down. It's like you had no intention of wearing down that defense. You just wanted to go for the cheese every single time.
Yeah, it's almost like they, hey, look, we got all these shiny new toys now. Let's just throw away the run game and let's see what our new toys can do. Well, you saw, and now you're suffering. Now you're another game back behind. I mean, right now at this point, you have to basically. I mean, if you, like I said, if they play the Panthers like they played Chicago, or like they played who they played, they barely squeaked one out against a couple of weeks ago. But I mean, if they're playing the Panthers with this tight game, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see them lose. But then on the flip side of it, they could come out and look like Super Bowl champions. So they just don't. I don't know what their identity is anymore. I don't think they do either, because at first it was defense, then it was offense, then it was defense, and then the offense is gone and the defense is gone too. So I don't know who to point the finger at.
The last meeting between the BUCS and the Panthers was the game on September 20th. That was a game 1 or game 2, I believe. Either way, the BUCS ended up winning 31-17, but that was pretty much without a Christian McCaffrey, and they're going to be without Christian McCaffrey again. Because he injured that shoulder. I believe it was the same shoulder. But regardless of that, he's out. He's not going to be playing for the Carolina Panthers, so that's a huge blow to them. If McCaffrey was in here, I'd say it would be much closer of a game than I'm thinking. But right now, so we can keep this going and move on to game 2. Give me your prediction for today. Your final score between the BUCS and the Panthers. Like I said, like for our viewers, Christian McCaffrey is out, but I feel like the Carolina Panthers still can muscle out a win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the team that they have, led by Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I mean, also, with Mike Davis, like, at the beginning of the season, that was, just getting going. Christian McCaffrey just got hurt. Mike Davis was thrown in there. Now they know. Like, they've been through games without McCaffrey, and Mike Davis has been getting off. I mean, having great games. So now he understands his role. He's comfortable with the role, and he may spell disaster for Tampa, or the one that nobody ever picks, and this is my fault. And DraftKings, it drives me crazy. But Samuel, all of a sudden is this amazing running back, or at least he's busting up these like 30, 40, 50-yard runs, and it's like, what the hell? Who had that? But anyway, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go with my pick. Obviously, I got to go with my boys. I'm gonna say 35 to 24.
BUCS 35, Panthers 24 for you. I'm gonna go along that same route. I'm gonna go 30-24. Buccaneers. I think they bounce back. I feel like it's going to be a slugfest. They have to establish a run. That's first and foremost. I feel like if they don't get that running game going somehow, if you don't muster up 100 yards total rushing, team rushing, you're in a world of hurt against the Carolina Panthers, who could air it out on you. They really.
Well, the biggest thing of that really killed them by not running that much was the simple fact that you didn't eat up much clock and you let Drew Brees get back on the field way too many times.
Right.
So if they continue to do that, it's just going to be devastation from here on out. But I think today they come out, they learn their lesson, they come out, and I think they start running it pretty heavy. And then that should create the matchups down the field on the side.
All right, going from Panthers versus Bucs, we're going to go to game 2. We're going to go to our game 2, Cardinals versus the Buffalo Bills. The Arizona Cardinals and the Buffalo Bills. Like, both teams are in this hunt, and honestly, Arizona being in the West, they're in a much tougher division with the Rams and the Seahawks. Man, honestly, Arizona could be one of those teams that could just flip it around and end up being. We talked about it last week. They could end up, with the Rams and the Seahawks trying to beat up each other today. They could be up a game in that race in the West. And honestly, I'm liking Kyler Murray. I like how that offense is explosive. The defense is it could be better. The defense is ranked 14th, but I mean that's middle of the pack. That's doing a decent job. This offense is for the Cardinals. It's going to be interesting to see if the Arizona defense can keep up what they're doing against a number 4 Buffalo Bills offense. Now the Buffalo Bills, they have a 24 ranked defense, but if you could put up points, you saw what they did in Seattle. If you could put up points, you can nullify anything. I mean, you could pretty much nullify that offense on the other side. So as long as they put up points for Buffalo, I feel like they'll be able to match Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to give you my pick right out up front, and it's probably going to shock you, but I'm going to take the Cardinals big in this one. I'm going to take the Cardinals at 30 and the Buffalo Bills at 17. Just because we know that the Buffalo Bills are week to week. One day they check in, the next day they don't. They're a little suspect, and they're traveling all the way out west. So I'm looking for it to be a good game. I love both the quarterbacks in this game. I don't think Buffalo's run game is anything to really bat an eye about. I mean, we've seen it. We know what the problem is. Devin Singletary is too small. I think I look for the Cardinals. Even with the stud they got back there and on the corner at Buffalo, I still look for DeAndre Hopkins to be able to take him deep. And if not, I look for Kirk to come in there as well.
Christian Kirk, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see this shit, man. I love how that offense is built, and it's DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins has been the key to that offense having this type of explosion that they've had. And Kyler Murray, I think he leads the team in passing and rushing. This team is ranked. What are they? 3rd in rushing. That's all Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's getting 100 yards a game rushing and 250 yards a game passing with 3 touchdowns. Give or take, whatever side you want to call it for. The kid's amazing. It's fun to watch. I feel like you're right. I feel like Buffalo's is going to be in some trouble if they can't find a way to contain Kyler Murray and slow down the over the top game that they have. It's going to be tough for Buffalo. We've seen Buffalo struggle on defense. We've seen them struggle on defense. I don't know if they could sustain have any type of sustained success against Kyler Murray in this fast-paced Arizona Cardinals offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be, obviously we know it's still going to be Stephon Diggs. I mean, he's going to get his, regardless. That's just the way it's going to be. John Brown, I look for him to come in and make a little bit of a difference. We could both be totally wrong, and Buffalo could come in and shock the hell out of everybody. I mean, not that it's a shock that they would beat Arizona, but this could turn around and be Buffalo's game to break out and score 42 points. That's just the thing with Buffalo. I wouldn't, they've got to be one of the hardest teams to bet on. You know what I mean? It's because
Right.
they look amazing one week, and then the next week you're like, who the hell is this?
Who the fuck is it?
Right. So it's really hard to gauge Buffalo, but I feel like the Cardinals got exactly what they wanted. They got Kyler Murray and they got their stud receiver. They got Hopkins. So, and then you still got Larry Fitzgerald for some underneath stuff.
Oh, the ageist one. One.
Larry, but I mean,
Larry's still doing his thing out there, even though you get Christian Kirk, even though you got DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald is still the man in that wide receiver room. Yeah,
he's still in there catching a possession receiver now. But I don't know. I mean, I'm looking for the Cardinals. I don't think from what I've seen with Buffalo's defense, I look for Kyler Murray to have a big day today on the ground.
Oh, that's exactly where I see him having the biggest game for the Cardinals. I don't think the Bills. I don't trust that the Bills can contain. I don't trust that anybody on that defense has the speed to keep up with a Kyler Murray. For me, I'm going to go ahead and give you my prediction because we're going to go ahead and take a break before we get to the last two games of today's set. I'm going to go with Arizona 37 and Buffalo 24.
Yeah, I think it's going to be up there. I mean, I think it's going to be kind of a track meet there for a minute. It's just going to depend, I don't know. And the crazy thing about this game is, like, when it comes to rushing, like, minus the quarterbacks, who's got the bigger advantage? Because, Devin Singletary's not the greatest. And Arizona has a little bit of a question mark. I'm not sure if Drake's playing today or not.
I'll say this, the running back is the quarterback. Honestly,
Right.
For both teams, the running back could be the quarterback in particularly this game. But like, don't look past Josh Allen's athletic ability to get downfield. He's a big guy. He could run. He has some speed. He's not as fast as Daniel Jones, but he's a big guy. He could get down there. He could knock over a linebacker. We've seen him put on some moves early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have the quarterback be the running back at the same time? I mean, obviously you got to protect them. You want your running, you want your running back, but in certain situations, why not go ahead when you need those yards? Let's say it's a second and long. Why not a design run? Why not a bootleg to get them out into space? These guys are athletic enough to do that.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about, like, both defenses. I don't trust either of them. If it came down to who's going to be on the ground better, I'm going to say it's going to be Kyler Murray because just how he is. He's just a quick guy, small, shifty. Josh Allen's more of a kind of like a brute runner. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he could still like you said, he could still make moves in the open field. So I don't know which defense I would trust more against stopping a running quarterback. That's just where we're at right now. I mean, Buffalo some days, like we said, great. Next day, who's this?
Right.
So it'll be interesting.
All right, guys. Yeah, it will be interesting. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give you did you go ahead and give you our picks? I gave you mine, 37-24. What did you say, Luke?
Yeah, I think the Cardinals are going to go big, and I don't remember what I said, but I'm gonna say that I think the Cardinals may put up like 40 today. Yeah. And I'm gonna say Buffalo at like 24, 40-24.
40-24. All right, that sounds about right. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. After the break, we're going to get back to you guys with the last two picks of the day. And then we'll probably talk a little bit about what's going to happen tomorrow with the Monday night game. But stick around. We'll be right back after this.
I just heard my favorite band is in town. I'd love to get good seats, but everywhere I've looked, the ticket sites have crazy service fees.
Haven't you heard of TixSplits?
Who?
TixSplits. They don't gouge you with crazy fees. The price they advertise is the price you pay, plus a small delivery fee.
Never pay service fees again. Go to TIXBLITZ.com today. TixSplits.com. Guaranteed seats, low prices. That's TixSplits.com. Every ticket, every venue, everywhere.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Basic Monsters Game Day podcast. Luke had to step away for a minute, but we're going to go ahead and continue things. Game 3, it will be the Rams versus the Seahawks. Big matchup in the NFC West. We just talked about how the Cardinals are sitting pretty if one of these teams were to lose, which they will. One of these teams will end up losing today. But Rams, Seahawks, you got the number one defense in the LA Rams going up against Russell Wilson and that high power, Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf, the Terminator. Seattle. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun watching Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf, watching Darren Donald try to go get after Russell Wilson. The NFC West has been fun in this past, maybe decade, 15 to a decade. It's been really fun watching the battles in the NFC West. But then this one is no bigger than any of the other ones, or less significant than any of the other ones. You got a Rams team who's all defense. That's who they are. They have playmakers on offense, but their defense is where they get their bread, make their bread. And honestly, I feel like the Rams are in great position because of the playmakers that they have on offense to blow out the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks defense is that bad. I've never they're ranked 31st out of 32 teams. The Seattle Seahawks defense is non-existent. I think the Rams might run away with this, especially with that three-headed monster at running back. The trio, the running back by committee that they have it's been great for them. I think that they wear out the Seattle defense early, and then it's just going to be off to the races.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be. I mean, the Rams definitely have the weapons. It's crazy. It's like it's the Rams are just like for week to week. It's like, okay, Josh Reynolds is going to get you today. The next game it's Woods. Next game it's Cup.
Right.
If they get all that on the same page at the same time, it could be lights out for Seattle real quick. The one neutralizer, I guess you could call it, would be to me it's Tyler Lockett. We know what DK is going to do, but Tyler Lockett definitely has to come in, have another big game. Because like I said, if you're gonna suck up, Ramsey over there on DK, then Lockett has to beat his man, and Lockett has to provide, the shots. They're also going to have to get that short game. One of them, Disley, Olsen, name any of the tight ends that Seattle has. Those guys are going to have to get to work. But yeah, if LA jumps out, watch out. Like I said, if that offense gets going, it's going to be a problem.
You see what Buffalo did last week when they got off quick? It was over. The game was a wrap. We looked at each other like, wow, that game's done. There's no way Seattle can overcome a 2 touchdowns might be hard. It probably is hard, but I could see that happening. But if it gets to anything else, there's no lead I feel like that they could come back from. Yeah.
No, I agree. In the Rams, I feel like they have the defense to keep Russ kind of in the box, and I don't see Russell really beating you with your feet. The Rams just have that just with the penetration of Aaron Donald alone. Let's not even talk about the rest of the people, but just the problems he creates.
Right, the Rams speed. Sorry to cut you off, but the Rams speed, like you had pointed out last week, and we both were going back and forth with, it's comparable to the Colts. The Rams speed. So the Rams speed on defense is comparable to the Colts. So you're not going to have a whole lot of running lanes. Those are going to close quickly. You're not going to have a whole lot of windows to throw to because they're going to close quickly because they can make up for anything with their speed. Now my game plan, without any really running back, Carlos Hyde's out, and I think Chris Carson's out too for the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be tough running. You got to find a way to get that ball running, whether you're attacking the short passing game, what have you. But you got to find a way to control the clock. If you're Seattle, you control the clock. You keep the ball out of their offense's hands because you know who your defense is.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you can on that. Maybe it could be like one of those classic NFC West games where it comes down to the wire. It comes down to the wire. It's a great comeback in the second half. It comes down to the wire, and any team could win.
Yeah, just like that Seattle Arizona game. I mean, that was back and forth, went to overtime, and that was a crazy game. And like I said, that I mean, honestly, that we all know that it's between those three teams. San Francisco seems to be in limbo. I don't even know where San Francisco is, but
they're just beat up, dude. Like they're beat to shit. Like there's nothing else you could give San Francisco that's going to help them right now. They're injured. They're hurt. Like they're like all their entire team. There's nothing. Nobody is going to come for them because all their good players are hurt right now.
Mm-hmm. It's 100% true. But I don't know. Like like you said. I mean, the running game is going to have to get going for Seattle. They can't pull a Tampa Bay and only run 4 times and just depend on the receivers. I mean, they do have a little bit more of a shifty quarterback, but that run game, they've got to do something. Somebody has to provide something. And I don't care if it's 2 yards a carry. At least have the threat of the run game. If they abandon it, I mean, if they abandon it, we know what they could do if they abandon it. We saw it in the Cardinals game. Right. But against this Rams defense, that's not going to work.
No, not at all. Let's get to the picks. I'll let you go first. Rams and Seahawks, what is your pick?
I'm going to go Rams 27, Seahawks 17.
You're going to go, okay, Rams for Luke, Rams 27, Seahawks 17, and I'm going to go with the Rams 30, the Seahawks 20. I'm going to go a little higher scoring just because I honestly, I could see the Rams going 35, 34, somewhere around there. It's just how bad the Seattle Seahawks defense is, man. Like it's flat out that bad. You've seen the Bears struggle on offense because their offense is that bad, right? Against this Rams team. Imagine going into last week knowing how you have to stop the Buffalo Bills in one area. You have to stop the Buffalo Bills and not being able to stop them at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Like if the Rams get on a roll, it's going to be curtains, man. I'm telling you, like that Seattle defense with it being as bad as it is, like I said, if all 3 of those guys get off, and then I think Higbee's back as well. So right. now you got another threat out there. So Seattle's got their work cut out today.
It's true. That's true. All right, let's bounce over to our last game, final game of the day, Sunday Night Football. New England Patriots versus the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar versus Cam, even though I'm sure it's going to be built like that, even though it's not like that at all because Cam has just been a shell of his former MVP self. And honestly, I don't want to blame Cam as much. I blame him trying to run into a system. I understand you want a job. You want a starting job right away. Mm-hmm. Just jumped into a system that just let the greatest quarterback of all time go. Mm-hmm. That is more complex than you probably initially thought, and they're trying to cater to your skills as well. He's not the game breaker. He's not the game breaker with his legs anymore. He just is. So that means he has to go ahead and be somewhat of a pocket passer, maybe roll to your left and that's it. But he can't go north and south trying to go ahead and break tackles, get yards, 20, you know what I'm saying? He can't take that punishment.
Especially against the Ravens defense.
Exactly. And the Ravens defense is no joke. It's been at first it was like, all right, Cam looks right. I mean, Cam could play. He could still play quarterback in the NFL. Nobody's saying that he can't be. He's not a quarterback. Nobody's saying he's washed and he's done. We're just saying his skill sets have changed. Like there has to be some type of metamorphosis between in his mind. Like, hey, I can't be this. I have to be this. And you could be a big body guy within a short distance. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say the red zone. Let's say the goal line. You could be Cam Newton again in the red zone. But when it comes to anywhere else on the field, like I need you to be more of a pocket passer and use your athleticism when needed. Like that's what it has to be, because I feel like sometimes I watch Cam and he wants to do something, he can't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not too many teams in the NFL, or especially quarterbacks. There's not too many quarterbacks in the NFL that have success without having a number one receiver. There's no standout receiver on New England. Plain and simple. That's it. You know, you've got N'Keal Harry, if he plays, and he's not even the greatest. And then the rest of the people, like we've talked about this a couple weeks in a row now. The rest of those quarterbacks, wide receivers, they're just not good. I mean, they may you could run 2-3 yard plays, but I mean, how many of those are you gonna have to run before you get down to the end zone? and then you got the Ravens to make things even worse. Now you've got the Ravens defense that's going to get after. They're going to get after Cam, and then on top of that, you got to compete with Lamar Jackson on the other side. So
you got the number 5. You got the number 5 running attack in the New England Patriots. You got the number 1 rushing attack in the Baltimore Ravens. Both passing games are trash.
Yeah.
Look at the Ravens are 32nd and you got 29th in New England Patriots. So actually Cam is doing a little bit better than we think. But
yeah,
it's like you're going into this game. You're gonna watch a long slugfest. It's gonna be ugly. It's Sunday night. I feel like Sunday night can get ugly unless. Like you see a game breaker, a game breaking run from a Lamar or a Gus
Gus or Dobbins.
Gus, what's Gus? What's his last name?
Edwards.
Edwards, thank you. A Gus Edwards run. I like how they call him Gus Bus. That's hilarious. Unless you see one of those or a Hollywood Brown over the top, I'm butt naked free in the middle of the field. I see this game being very, very, very close. I'm going to go with Baltimore at the end. I'm still going to go with Baltimore at the end by 2 possessions. I'll give them 10 points. I'm going to go Baltimore 27 and the New England Patriots 17.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it a little more lopsided. I'm gonna go. I think the Ravens come in there and just wreck shop. Right. I think it's gonna be Brown's going to get his. Don't get me wrong, but I think today you're going to see another surprise Willie Snead game, and I look for Duvernay and Andrews. Duvernay and Andrews, I think, are going to have a big game today.
Okay. I like it. All right. Well, I mean, shit. Like I thought it was going to be like. I thought it was going to be the Patriots sitting at like 5-3, like around 5-3, 5-4, somewhere about the 5-win mark. But they haven't looked good. I mean, they haven't looked good. No. It's shocking. I mean, they got the number 5 rushing attack, and it's like that's not going to win you games. That's not who you've been. I mean, you've been known to have a balance. You know what I mean? You've been known to have a balance, especially with Tom. I don't see them sustaining that throughout the season. I mean, maybe not sustaining it. I don't see them finding sustained success throughout the season, just being a running team.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I'm gonna go ahead and post my score at 31-17.
Okay.
For the Ravens.
For the Ravens, 31-17 for the Ravens. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. We got about 15 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. This has been the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast pre-game show. Of course, we get to you guys at the halftime and at the post/pre-game of each game. We're gonna go ahead and check up out of here, man. I can't wait to see this Panthers Bucks game. And also, I know you mentioned a bonus. We'll do a little bonus real quick. That Jaguars Packers game.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man.
We talked about running right at the Green Bay Packers. They have to. The Jaguars do have a decent running attack. I'm not saying that they're going to go ahead and blow them out, but if you find them, if the Jaguars find themselves lingering in that third quarter, you might be in for an upset because they could run the football. If they can't do anything well, they could run the football.
Yeah, no, and they're going to have to. They're going to have to lean on that running game today because Minshew's out. They got, I don't even know the guy's name, at quarterback. So obviously you don't want to put him in a pickle, but they're going to have to run that ball. They're going to have to run it. I know Chris Conley's activated too.
It's the only way they find success today. It's the only. And I'm not saying I'm not picking them to win. You know what I mean? But it's the only way they can find success there. They could do a little, they could do decent enough on the ground in order to get something going. Because I just don't trust that. I don't trust that rushing attack. They have running backs in Jacksonville. I don't trust the rushing attack of Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, the Green Bay defense is just atrocious. It's like It's like, hey, you want to run right up the middle? Go ahead, because the people aren't beating them outside around the tackle. They're beating them right in the hole. Like the linebackers, the line, everybody's getting beat.
Right. And you could blame Green Bay for letting Blake Martinez go. We saw him in the Tampa game.
We talked about Blake before. Blake was distraught as stirs the drink on that in that linebacking room. And I know you have great guys in the Smith brothers. But Blake Martinez was making sure tackles and making sure guys and making the plays when he needed to make a play. Like the loss of a Blake Martinez was huge for Green Bay. So like for me, you know, and don't look at the Jaguars and like just bypass them. I don't give a shit what the stats say. Like they could run the football. They only stop running the football because they're down in every fucking game. They're down in every fucking game. So like if they were able to. If they were good anywhere else, you know, they'd be better. They'd show better chance in the run game, but they have a run game.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna pick the upset in this one. I'm gonna take the Jaguars at 24, and I'm gonna put the Packers at 21.
Woo! Feeling lucky.
I just don't trust that defense.
Feeling ballsy. I honestly, they're sitting at like number 8 overall, which is phenomenal to me. I'm like, how the hell?
Not bad. And that's after they lost Ngakoue and Ramsey and how many other people. You know, they're still not a bad team.
Exactly. It's all about Aaron. In Green Bay, it's all about Aaron. There's nothing else to look forward to in Green Bay if Aaron goes down or if Aaron retires after this year. Where once you get past Aaron Rodgers, you have Devontae Adams all alone. That's all you have. Honestly, once you get past Aaron Rodgers, I think you have Devontae Adams out of town.
I think you know, and I think in order for the Jaguars to win this, they have to stifle Aaron Jones, and then their secondary's got to step up, because we know that Aaron likes to throw. We know who he likes to throw it to. So I mean, really, we've seen it over and over again. Take away Devontae Adams, the Green Bay doesn't really have much else. You know, you get.
Aaron Jones has been a blessing though, because teams have done that. Aaron Jones a blessing. So you have a safety net for Aaron, but like you're right. If you have a decent running attack and you could just go ahead and be like, hey, him, don't let that motherfucker anywhere in the open field. I think you're all right. Or just have safety help over the top because you're gonna have to hit Devontae Adams. I think that's how you could affect Devontae Adams by putting a lick on Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I think we're going to see, and this is I can't believe I'm going to say it, but I think I don't know, something just my spidey senses are tingling. I think Aaron Rodgers throws 3 interceptions this game.
Ooh, why are you thinking that? You're all out today.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I don't know. I just after watching college football yesterday and seeing the upsets, I feel like today it's going to carry over, and there's going to be some upsets today. And a bonus little pick thing. I know we're not talking about, but I got to say it. I look for Joe Burrow to give the Steelers their first loss.
Ooh, I was thinking that one. I wanted that one. That one is my dark horse. I was going to tell you offline, but we're on the same page with that. I was going Joe Burrow and company beating the Pittsburgh Steelers because I believe in Joe Burrow. I believe in Justin Herbert. I believe Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah,
not the MVP, the rookie of the year. Yeah. But bro, like like for the quarterback class, or at least the first 2 that were taken last year, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert had been lighting up the score chart, the stat charts, and I don't see him stopping. I think this is the new era that with Kyler Murray and Josh Allen and Lamar and Pat Mahomes, the new era of quarterbacks is upon us, and I don't see it slowing down. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun because they're all athletic. They all have similar types of things. These quarterbacks. They're now granted they're different, but they all can do similar types of things, and that makes it exciting because now you have multiple teams with players that are game breakers. Yeah,
and I mean the thing that really I think lets Burrow stand apart is like I've seen that guy make some throws, and it's just like how the hell did he get that ball in there? And like it's just a perfect placement, and it's he's not going to beat you on with his feet, even though he can run. But just where he places the ball for his receivers is amazing.
Let's do one more. Let's do Oakland and Denver. Let's do Oakland and Denver because I Chucky's team. They escaped last week from the aforementioned Justin Herbert. From the aforementioned Justin Herbert and the San Diego Chargers, but it was too close for comfort for me. If I'm Chucky, it's too close. These games, the 3 losses that you do have, I don't like them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I necessarily don't care for them. Your team is not that great in the passing game. It's with the Henry Ruggs, you're not doing so well, and you got a rushing attack that's ranked 10th with the Vegas Raiders, and I don't see how that's not helping this passing game, especially in the play action. You got game breakers at the receiver position and at the tight end position for that man. Aaron Waller is the man. So,
yeah, 100%.
So I don't know how the Raiders are struggling to get points up on the board for these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think their faults lay on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like Ruggs, yes, he's fast, but we've seen numerous fast guys come in. Just because you're a wide receiver and you're fast doesn't translate that you're going to catch a lot of balls.
I feel like they should be scoring 40 points a game. Truthfully, I feel like they should be scoring 40 points a game. In the games that they've lost, they've reached 20. The Bucks mid 20, the Buffalo Bills 23, the Pats 20. The Cleveland Browns, they won with only 16. I need more. I need more. You beat the Chiefs by 40 points. You out chief the Kansas City Chiefs in that win, and then you just kind of it feels like that running game is the foundation. And if they can't get that running game going, they're going to struggle.
No, I agree. I mean, this is another game they have to have because this is a division game. So they better come with it. I don't know. I look for Jacobs to have a pretty good game, and then let's talk about the Raiders. All of a sudden, breakout wide receiver Nelson Aguilar.
Stonehands Aguilar.
Yeah, he's been catching, man. And I'll tell you another thing they need to use more. And he's been working out the last couple of weeks. I mean, not huge, but I mean he's providing yards and catches when you need them. I think they need to utilize him a little bit more. Maybe get a little more creative with his routes. But Hunter Renfrow, man, Hunter Renfrow is like an unsung hero in the NFL. He's
he's a sung hero at Clemson.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the way that they use him. He's more of like your what's the guy say, Cole Beasley or like a Adam Humphries type of thing. And I feel like they need to let Hunter get down the field a little more, at least draw some coverage over from Ruggs or Aguilar or Waller. I mean, it just doesn't matter. I mean, just run him a little farther down the field and open up some other things.
Right. Josh Jacobs, though, is going to be the key. Like I said, I just feel for the Vegas Raiders to get off, it's got to be Josh Jacobs. You have to sustain a rushing attack with Josh Jacobs. I know they have a decent running back room, but when Josh Jacobs gets off, he's breaking 10, 15 tackles in a game, probably plus, and he's going for extra yardage. The Josh Jacobs show is fun to watch when they get going, and I think they need to do that today to really get this win because I'm not going to look past this today for the Vegas Raiders. I'm not going to look past the Broncos.
Yeah, no, I mean
the Broncos are world beaters, but hey, any given Sunday, a team that's ready to go their ass, and this
especially a division, especially a division game. I mean, every division plays, their in division opponents a little tougher than the rest of the league because they're so familiar with them. So we're gonna see, but I do look for the Raiders to come out with a W. I don't think it's going to be anything pretty or shiny or anything like that, but I think they squeak one out 23-17.
23-17 Raiders. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I'm gonna go with the Broncos finding a way to win here, and I'm gonna make it ugly. I'm gonna go 20-13.
Okay.
2013 Broncos. I mean, like you said, divisional game. All division game. When you're playing a divisional opponent, you should be up for it. You should be up for it, and I feel like the Broncos are going to be up for it because they're 3-6. They're sitting at 3-6. We said with the extra playoff spot, whoever makes a run in the second half, the teams that started this second half out sitting, outside of the playoff spot, if they make a run, who knows? Who knows what could happen? It could be anybody's guess to who gets those playoff spots.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna be a tough road for both of them in this game, just because like neither of them are really standout offenses. There's not a lot of shiny toys. I mean, if you looked at it on paper, you would obviously say the Raiders probably stand the better chance on paper. But and I'm not sure if Judy's playing today. But Noah Fant, like he's going to have a big game. Both those tight ends, really, to tell you the truth, in this game are going to have big games.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get to the games. 4 minutes before the kickoff. I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles. We will get to you guys at halftime of the Buccaneers and the Panthers. Man, it's going to be a fun one. It's a jam-packed day for us here at the basement. All right, guys. We'll see y'all at the half. Peace.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.